Beautiful. So, you're welcome to this webinar where we'll be talking about the things you need to know before you gain an admission to the university. My name is Esther Kodu, for those of you that probably do not know me. And I just want to welcome every one of us to this webinar this evening. And I want to believe that you are expectant and, there's so much that you are hoping to get out of this. So, without any further ado, I just want to maybe share a brief about the ASC, right? For some of us that are not familiar with the Accelerated Students Conference, so our vision actually is basically to empower undergraduates, aspiring students, and also fresh graduates to prepare them for life after school, also help them to gain a balanced life while in school. And so this year we started to also help students who need to, maybe just finish writing Jamb, and you need clarity on how to navigate your way to ensure that you're able to gain admission into university this year. And so that's why we put this together. We had the first edition in 2024, and this is the second edition that we'll be having this year. So once again, my name is Esther Kodu, and I'm the convener of this conference. And I really believe that you're going to get the best from this. Before we proceed, I'd love you to just invite one or two people before we get started, before we bring our speakers on board. And whilst you're doing that, I would love to bring up our host for this evening. And I don't know, Abayo, can you speak? Can you hear me? Okay, so I'll be bringing up our host. I won't be the one to host this webinar this evening. So I'm bringing up our host for this evening in the person of Abayo Miakodo, is my brother, and he's going to be helping to anchor the session this evening. So let's welcome him. If you can hear me, please just drop a welcome, and also ensure that you're inviting or reminding somebody to be a part of this. All right. Can you hear me, Abayo? And actually, I'm a bit under the weather, so that's why my voice is sounding like this. And that's why I'm not even able to host the session this evening, and I had to have him help with it. So I would really, really love to get the energy from us, so that I know that we are all of this is actually for, we're getting the right feedback from us. So I need to get the energy from us, right? Are you able to hear me? Please let me know if you can hear me.
Okay, good evening to everybody. It's so nice to be here this evening, and I welcome you all. I want us to do one thing. We are more than 300 people in this group, but only few of us are on the call. Can we kindly just share the link, invite somebody? Possibly you already invited somebody before. Can you just remind them that this webinar is on, so that we can have more people? A lot of you are bound to gain a lot from this. So let's just share the link. Let's invite more people. So, and as we do, let me introduce myself. My name is Abayo Miakodu, and I'm an educator, but I'm not really here about myself, but more stepping in for the convener of this program, Accelerated Student Conference. For many of you wondering what ASC means, that's Accelerated Student Conference. It's a program that has been, in inception for quite a while now, and it's geared towards enhancing and helping undergraduates and also aspiring students and how to maneuver through life. But this edition of this program is the second. The first was held last year, and I also want to appreciate the convener for such a brilliant and wonderful innovation. And this is the second edition, like I said. So, and the purpose for this is just for one goal: to help aspiring students gain admission into the university. Many of you, after Jamb, written Jamb, some of you scored decent marks, some of you not so good. And the next question on your mind is, what next? What do you do? I've had, like I said, I'm an educator. I've been one for the past 6 to 7 years. And, over the years, I've seen students, confused about what the next line of action is after writing Jamb. I've seen students confused about what exactly they need to do. And they keep asking questions upon questions, and some of them get misled into doing what they ought not to do, or into changing courses into courses they are not qualified for. So that was the reason that bettered. I remember I was at home a couple of weeks ago, and we were just discussing, myself and the convener, and she happened to notice that I was receiving calls from students that went to write their Jamb exam, and that was when she brought up the idea of having, or she concluded, don't let me say brought up the idea, that she was going to have the second edition of this program. And just because she saw that there are students who are actually confused, who are not sure of what next to do. So, but before I go on and before I invite our guest speaker for today, because I am not the guest speaker, but it's someone I know very well, whom I will be introducing after a while, I just want you to use the chat box. I want you to share your experiences of possibly of your exam, possibly how your exam went, what you experienced, some of the challenges you have, or some of the things you intend to gain or to get out of this program. So I'll be waiting for your responses in the chat box. Okay, I have one from Precious, who said, I've written Jamb twice. I need help in determining if I should change my course of study because of the cutoff mark. Okay, that's very good. I want to believe others are still typing theirs. Now, while we wait for others to send theirs, let me also make you realize that I know that among us here, we have people who have written Jamb not once, not twice, some have written more than once. We have people who this is their first trial. And, it seems as if for some people, it seems as if even despite getting very good grades in Jamb, they still end up not gaining admission into the university. I know she loves to share this story, and she might have shared it with one or two people that joined the group through our Canva group on WhatsApp. The convener, that's the person of Esther Kodu, she actually wrote Jamb knocked the first time in 2014, if I'm not mistaken. And she had a very good score, even better than I did when I wrote mine. I think about 250 something or so. And though she gained admission into Jambite, but certain things happened and she was unable to attend the school. And she had to write two other Jamb exams before she could actually gain admission into UNM, that's University of Nigeria, Nsukka. And in doing this, she had very good results in all the exams that she did. One of something I'm actually very proud of. And I remember one particular experience where she had a result and she was waiting for admission. And it seemed as if nothing was forthcoming. It's dawned on us that at that instance that it wasn't as if she did not have good grades or she was not as good as those that were gaining admission. A lot of our friends were also in school at that time. But she did not have proper mentorship, proper counseling. Opportunities like this that we are having now were not available back then in our days. When people come up and give us seminars, tell us exactly how admissions are being run in the university. And a lot of people are also in this category. I'm sure there are people who have written Jamb not once, not twice. And they keep asking themselves that what exactly is the problem? What exactly is the issue? I know a particular person as well. She was a friend of my sister. And, she gained admission. She wrote Jamb about twice. And there was a particular year she scored over 300 in Jamb. And yet she did not gain admission. There are certain little mistakes that we make or certain things that we do not know that are actually hindering us from gaining admission into the university. So some of those things are what we'll be looking at today. After taking your Jamb exam, that doesn't mean the end of it all. We have had students who, after taking the exam and they realized that they had very good grades, the next thing they did was to just relax. And they began announcing that, yes, I've gotten good grades in Jamb. Some, your parents will even celebrate you. They will begin to tell families, tell uncles, relatives, friends, neighbors that their child scored 280, 300. And in the long run, that same child will still not gain admission into the university. What exactly is the problem? What exactly? I believe these are questions that should be answered. Cases of students who rejected admission. I had a very close friend of mine in the university when we ended up studying the same thing, because we both studied computer education in the university. I remember years before then, prior to that particular year, he gained admission. He was offered the same course in a different university, and he rejected it because he felt that he could not study that course, or it was beneath him. And he ended up coming back to study that same course he rejected years later. So when he ought to have finished earlier, he actually finished late. And these are some of the mistakes that many of us make. So admission process is not just about you writing Jamb and relaxing. The next thing for you to do is for you to actually take the next step, take the next bold step. Some of you, the next step might be something that you are not comfortable with, that you are not convenient doing. You might even have to change courses. Now, for Precious, who wants to know if she should change course because of the cutoff mark, and so many other reasons why others might have joined. I believe that if you have been able to attend this webinar or this seminar, possibly last year, you can probably have gained admission to the university. Now, one thing I want us to realize is that something that can actually help secure admission is for you to have proper mentorship, proper guidance, because the criteria for gaining admission into the university is constantly changing. This process we used in our time is not the same that is being used today. And people need to actually learn. You need someone who knows the way, who knows the rudiments, who knows all that is needed to put you through, to guide you. So let's not be shy. Let's not shy away from proper mentorship. Let's not shy away from proper guidance. Let's not shy away from someone that will put us through. Let's be courageous. Let's be bold into asking for help. So this evening we have a seasoned educator who I will be introducing shortly, and he shall be taking it up from there. Permit me to read his autobiography and also introduce him. Okay, so our seasoned educator is Abdurrahim Yusuf Olani, a teacher, a mentor, a guardian with over a decade experience. Salani is the director of Mark Globe Education Consult Limited, an education consult company with over 90% success recorded in the last 3 years. Before the establishment of Mark Globe Education Consult Limited, he has worked as manager in prominent private schools including Jovic College, Lemba Awori, Ojo Lagos, Tosvik College Shibiri. He's director of CBT at the prestigious Excellence Brain Pre-University Center since 2004. Salani is an excellent classroom teacher, having taught economics, marketing, government, commerce, civic education, mathematics, and further maths in various secondary schools. Now, before I bring him on board and for all of us to actually acknowledge his presence, permit me to share, because he's a very close friend of mine, someone I've had the experience to work with for over 5 years. like he mentioned in the autobiography, that he has over a decade experience of teaching, and also over a decade experience of mentoring students into the university. And is for someone I've worked close with, he's not just saying this, but it's something he has proven record. Remember, recently we had an incident that happened, some months back, where an incident happened and where to go to acquire a document from a government official, and we had little or nothing to present. But one of the things that we were able to present that convinced this said person was the record of having students, 100% of those that registered for Jamb under this his organization, gaining admission into the university. And that alone was able to gear up the government official into giving us what we wanted. So it is not just about what he has written, but about what he's capable of doing. I've witnessed firsthand all of this happening. I've seen students who, without even having the chance of gaining admission to university, they were still able to secure one. So he has the experience, he has the connection, he has the insight. Okay, so he's ready for us. He has the insight into ensuring. So I want us to be ready. I want us to be prepared this evening. I want you to get out your pen, get out your paper. Some of these things are things that you do not just need to hear, but you need to take down and also pass it on to others, to some of your friends who are not here. So I just want us to take this class for levity. Whatever you are doing, let's pay attention, because this is your future. We are talking about it. This is your life. It's going to determine the next 4 years of your career. So you should please take it with all seriousness. And I want to believe that after tonight's section, you would have a change of perspective. You will have, clarity. You have direction. You will have a sense of purpose. So I want to humbly submit here as I invite Mr. Abdurrahim Yusuf Olani to the stage. Let's drop a clap emoji in the chat box as we welcome. Mr. Ryan, you have the floor now.
Good evening, everyone. Please, can you hear me clearly? I would like to hear your sound if you can hear me, so I'll be so sure that we are all together. So mute your mic for a few minutes to let me know you are hearing me.
I hear you, sir. I'm here with you, sir.
Okay, that's nice. So, what about that? Can you unmute your mic for a few minutes? Just speak.
I can hear you, sir.
All right. If the few of us that are signified so far are hearing me so clearly, I want to believe that we have a class. Good evening once again. I want to especially, first of all, thank the hosts of this particular class, Ms. Nesta Hakudu, very much for this wonderful initiative. I pray that at the end of the day, God will reward you here on earth and otherwise. Because we all believe, I believe as a Muslim, that we are going to die and there is life after death. So after death, we are still going to get reward of whatever we do now. So God reward you here and then. Thank you very much, the hosts. You have done a very wonderful introduction. In fact, I have the belief that if we are to save time, because the people we are to talk to now, they are adults. And as an adult, I want to believe that the introduction is enough for you to get it right, if really you actually want to get it right. Moving forward, you have all seen the invite to this present, to this blessed, classroom, and everything is centered on what it takes. Yes, you have taken Jamb. Yes, you have seen your results. Just today, I got an information anyway that Jamb already cancelled some results. So please, if you have seen your results, if something is wrong with your email or your phone number, try to work on it, because Jamb is sending information to some candidates that their result has been cancelled because they suspected the results to be, possibly having some faults. And so those set of candidates will be taking their exams again. That's an info anyway. So we are here today to make sure that result we have gotten. I've seen so many messages in my inbox, my DM. People are saying, yes, I have scored 159. Yes, I have scored 172. Yes, I have scored 186. Yes, I have scored 192. Yes, I have scored 229. Different scores that ranges. The interest of all of us now is, how do we gain admission with these results? And that is the essence of this particular class. So because of this, I will be making highlight of what has been itemized for all of us. We have seen the items. I don't know if I should share again. We have seen those things that we need to get right. The highlight of what we are to discuss today. All right, moving forward. You want to gain admission. You have taken Jamb. You have gotten your results. What do you need to do to get it right? With all the 4 items itemized, there is one that overrides others. When I say override others, it means that it is present in all the 4. It is like set theorem. I know all of us have passed through secondary school. The set theorem, there's what they call the universal set. A component that consists of all other components. And that concept is the concept of cutoff mark. So this evening, I will be doing the little I can do to discuss what cutoff mark is all about, and major misconceptions that many of us are having about cutoff mark. Still under cutoff mark, on some of misconceptions you are getting wrong, those things you are getting wrong, misconceptions about admission process. To start with, like I said, the cutoff mark. Cutoff mark is applicable to all. Cutoff mark is real. But many of us are not getting the concept right. No wonder since about 2 years now, or 3 years ago, Jamb is looking for a way to change the concept. Maybe you should call it something else if the students will get it. And that is why, since about that time, some institutions will not say cutoff mark. If you check their publications, they will instead call it the minimum tolerable marks. Are you following me, please? Please signify if you are still following me, so that I will not be talking to myself. Please, can you signify if you are still following me? Good, precious. Good, precious. You got it right. Precious is following me. That's the only person I can see now. So, the cutoff mark, like some school will call it, the minimum tolerable mark. By minimum tolerable mark means that if at all you are going to get admission in this school, I'm looking for the best pidgin to use. That's okay. It's not that all of you have chances, but if at all you are going to have a chance to gain admission in this school, you need to score so mark. But many people believe or do not believe that having that mark is not 100% guarantee that you are going to gain admission in such a school. Now, the cutoff mark is the minimum tolerable mark, which means that if you have that score, you have a chance, at least 1% chance. I don't want to give the right percent, I just give an example. At least there is a chance, it's not zero. But that does not mean that you have 100% chance to gain admission in that institution. I'm going to give some examples that you are going to judge, since I cannot share my screen. I find it difficult to share my screen anyway. You have a chance. That's the meaning of cutoff mark. To let you understand cutoff mark better, I'll give you that there are 3 types of cutoff mark. There are 3 major types of cutoff mark. 3 of them very essential. The number 1 is what we call the general cutoff mark. General cutoff mark. Please jot that down and listen to me attentively. General cutoff mark. By general cutoff mark, we mean what is obtainable generally. By generally, we mean at least one institution will accept that general cutoff mark. Because Jamb doesn't set cutoff mark for themselves. The one Jamb normally sets is called the general cutoff mark. So Jamb is not the one that set this cutoff mark. It is the provost of colleges of education. It is the rector of polytechnics. It is the vice chancellor of the university that will make a suggestion that let the cutoff mark for this year for university to be 140. So if a vice chancellor is putting 140 on the table, it means that that university is willing to accept 140. And for that 140 to scale through, it means that there are others who voted in favor of that one. Hence, we are sure that once the general cutoff mark that will be announced on 11th of this month, that's in a few days' time now, on Monday, if I'm not mistaken, on Monday, the cutoff mark that will be announced is called the general cutoff mark. Yes, it is the vice chancellor of universities, rectors of polytechnics, provost of college of education that is going to put suggestion of what is obtainable in those various institutions as their cutoff marks. So if it is accepted by majority, then Jamb will announce that the cutoff mark for this year is so. We are going to let you know all those things via this platform too. So if it is announced, that is the general cutoff mark. It is not a yardstick that, yes, like last year, for example, the general cutoff mark was 150. 150. So university chooses 150. Now, 150 was the general cutoff mark for last year. Now, many institutions, many universities voted for 150, but some did not agree. But because it is just the minimum, it is not a must. You need to get this. It's not a must that all universities must accept 150. Hence, if you go to Unilag last year, the cutoff mark for Unilag was 200. If you go to LASU, sorry, I'm based in Lagos, so I'm going to be using Lagos institutions sometimes. That also goes to some states. LASU was accepting 190. Lagos State University of Science and Tech, 195. Lagos State University of Education, 170. Some federal institutions like University of Ilorin, you see, University of Ilorin is the institution that still have the registrar of Jamb, Professor Isaac Oloyede. The registrar of Jamb is still a lecturer in University of Ilorin. He was their former vice chancellor, but today he is still a lecturer in University of Ilorin. University of Ilorin has the registrar of Jamb as one of the elder statesmen in that university. So the institution used to sometimes will ask the vice chancellor, please, what's that your policy all about? That University of Bologna has their own cut-off mark to be 180. Many institutions accepted 150. Universities accepted 150. But you cannot go to Uni Learning where we have the vice chancellor as a lecturer with 150, with 160, with 170. You must have at least 180. So that tells us that you should not be happy that you are going to any university of your choice when it is announced that the general cut-off mark is 150. Yes, you have a chance in at least one university, but not in all university. Please get this right. If you get this one, please, can you give me a voice confirmation that you understand this? General cut-off mark will be 150, but that does not mean that you have a chance in all university. General cut-off mark is not a guarantee that you have a chance in all the institutions. Following the general cut-off mark is the institutional cut-off mark, which I have explained a little in the process of letting you understand the power or strength of the general cut-off mark. LASU 195 is the institutional cut-off mark, the cut-off mark for LASU. UNILAG 200 is called the institutional cut-off mark for UNILAG. LASUED 170 is the institutional cut-off mark for LASUED. So when an institution accepted, when I accepted that is they agreed, they have chosen 150 in the case of last year as the cut-off mark for that institution, does not mean that once you score 150, you are automatically qualified for all the courses in that institution. You are not qualified for all the cut-off mark for that institution. You are not. So, but that institutional cut-off mark. So the last one is the program cut-off mark, which you just could determine your fate. So your chances of getting admission on merit. Yes, admissions to have classes. There are many bases of getting admission, which I'm going to explain here. So after the cut-off mark, I am going to basis of getting admission. So the fact that you scored 150 and the school have said, yes, I am accepting 150. In fact, you can score 200 and your institution is accepting 150. Some people will not be happy that I am 50% wide away from the cut-off mark of my school. Hence, I will get admission. If the school can accept 150, then I have chosen so course. I'm going to get admission. It is not a yardstick. It's not a yardstick. Let me quickly drop some information. Today, though the person is not here, I was expecting this person to be here this evening to get some things right. Today, somebody sent me a DM. I want to find the message and post it here. Somebody sent me a DM this morning. Yes, just this morning. I would have loved to screenshot, but I will just paste the message. Copy and paste the message here for all of us to see. It's a very powerful message. I'm going to use that message as a specimen to teach this evening. Yes, the message reads. So go back to the message. So the message says that this person, please, can someone who have 229 in Jamb study nursing in AAU or XU? That was a question. So I gave a response. My response was that possible, sha. That was my message. So my response was possible, sha. That is, it is very possible. Yes, very, very possible. And honestly, it is possible. But the fact that it is possible does not mean that you are already guaranteed admission if what you have is a 220 for medicine. Sorry, for nursing. Now, how does this work? That is what we are here for. How does this thing work? It works this way. Please, I have said this because the cut-off marks for these courses in the past shows that these people don't have a chance. If I must be honest, that person that sent that message, the last cut-off mark shows that the person has no chance at all. You see, when I say at all, whereas the cut-off mark for that institution was 160. Sorry, 150. One of them 150, one of them 170. So 150, 170. Despite the fact that the person has over 200, which is 70 marks away. You know, somebody who scored 220 something will be seeing 170 as a very good range. Yes, mathematics, we call it range. We call it range. But this is not always true. Sometimes you don't have a chance at all. But because I already referred that person to a particular class, I want to make another instances. So now I'll be sharing a cut-off mark. Yes, a cut-off mark of an institution. Cut-off mark of an institution. Sorry, a cut-off mark. I'm looking for the file so that I will share with you. Cut-off mark of an institution. Then we'll see our analysis from there. Okay, sorry because of our time. Are you all with me? All right, good. Now you are following. That's good. Now, let me give an instance. Fuoye, Federal University of Oye-Ekiti. Federal Oye-Ekiti. I'm going to use that as a case study now to understand how some of these things works. The cut-off mark, the general cut-off, the institutional cut-off mark was 160 last year. Is it 160 or 150? About 150. 150. But for nursing was 200 anyway. But let's imagine, I've seen people who score 160 or even 200. Now, I want to use 200 as a case study. That scored 200 in Jamb. Somebody who scored 200 in Jamb. And the institution is accepting 160 for other courses, but 200 for nursing. So you would think that they have taken the highest they are going to take. So if you scored, say, 201 or 202, that you have a chance for admission. But after the institutional cut-off mark, they later released the program. So the last cut-off mark, the last type of cut-off mark, I've said general cut-off mark, institutional cut-off mark. So the third one is the program cut-off mark. That course you want to study. What is the cut-off mark for that course in that school? For 4 years last year was 78. 78 for nursing. For nursing, it was 78. So let's look at the implication of this 78. Foye adopt a system of grading that we call 60-40. Please, can somebody just jot that down? Foye has adopted 60-40. 60-40 here means that your UTME is taking 60% of your aggregate score, while the O level is taking 40% of your aggregate score. Now, they have accepted 200 for nursing. So if you score 200, for example, that means you have gotten 30 over 60. I believe that should not be hard for somebody who is preparing to go to institution. If you get 200 over 400 and your JAMB is 60%, that means you got 30 over 60. Is this clear for everybody? Please signify if this is clear. Hello, where are these people Nonawa and Co, please can you talk? Just unmute and talk. At these stages, I want you to talk so I'll be sure that I'm having you. Akinrin Ade, Precious, Elijah. Yes, we have. Okay, good. Nonawa, good. Where are the others? Please, can you just let me know that you are following? So because of our time, others, please, I want to believe you are getting me. If somebody can hear me loud, if you are not hearing me, then your network or something. But I'm still going to share some of these resources for us to make our calculations. Now, somebody who wants to study nursing got 200 over 400. So that person has gotten 30% of 30 over 60. 30 over 60. So the remaining 40 will come from O-level results. And O-level result is 40. And the cut-off mark for nursing was 78. Cut-off mark for radiography, another courses that some nurses want to go for or medical students want to go for, was 74. Many courses were above 70. Now, for all the courses that are up to 70, anybody that gets exactly 200 is not qualified automatically. There's no chance for admission at all. Why? Because the remaining percent for O-level results is 40%. So even if you have gotten 30 over 60, if all your O-level result is A1, then you are going to get 40-40. So even with your 40-40, you are not qualified for nursing. Even if you got 5 relevant A1, you are not qualified for nursing. Even if you have gotten relevant subject A1, you are not qualified for radiography and some other courses like that, despite the fact that the general cut-off mark, so institutional cut-off mark, that institution is accepting 160. The same thing happens to University of Ilorin. University of Ilorin is doing 50-50 or sometimes 50-40-10. By 50-40-10 means that your Jamb result is 50. The remaining one, which is post-UTME and O-level results, is 50%. So I want to combine them. That's why I say 50-50 earlier. Unilag is accepting 50-30-20 or 50-40-10. They normally interchange within these two. But the point of contention here is that your Jamb result is already 50%. There are some courses like medicine in Unilag that the cut-off mark for that program for medicine will be 80-something%. So if you are choosing a course that the program cut-off mark is 80%, even if you now score 200 in Jamb, which means that you have gotten 25%. For Unilag now, that Jamb is giving you 25% because your Jamb is only 50% of the total. Please, are you getting me? If you are getting me, please signify now. Signify. I'm using the second institution now. Unilag, Unilorin, I'm mixing them together. Those schools can be different a little, but the main difference here is what they are giving to O-level results. But the bone of contention is that their Jamb, they are taking Jamb to be 50%. So if you have gotten 25 over 50 and you have chosen a course that is having 80% as the general cut-off mark, so even if you get 100% in post-UTME and you get your O-level result to be all around A1, you are still not qualified because the order outside Jamb is only 50%. And what you have gotten from Jamb is just 25%. Now, moving forward, any school that choose 50 and for Jamb, that means that every 1 point in that institution is 1 mark. 8 mark in Jamb is 1 point. 1 aggregate point is 8 mark in Jamb. An indication that if you score 208, then you are gotten 26% in Unilag in UI. If you have gotten, let's say 250, 250, for example, then the implication is that your 50% will only hand you 50/8. So divide 50 by 8, whatsoever you get, add it to 5%.
So I think he has locked off recently, possibly due to network. And
Let's just wait for him. Let's just wait to see if he will connect back. So just give me a moment. Okay, while we are waiting for him, he mentioned 3 types of cutoff mark that we have. To show you are following, can you type those 3 in the chat box? Can you just type those 3 types of cutoff mark you mentioned? Okay, thank you. Healing Hands, that's general, institutional, and program. Yes, that's correct. Rachel, beautiful. General, institution, and course cutoff mark. Beautiful. Can we have more? Can we have more? Please, this is to show that we are all following. We are not just here to waste our time. We are all here to learn. We are all here to learn. I'm sure that this is going to benefit you one way or the other. For some of you, you might even be learning for your younger ones, for people that you know. You might not be the one that needs it, but someone needs to hear this. Okay, precious, beautiful. General, institutional, course cutoff mark. Beautiful. We have more people on the call. Please send in. Let's be involved. Let's not just mute our mics and go off. Okay, Abigail, beautiful. General, institutional, program cutoff mark. Wonderful. Wonderful. Now, if I might ask, which of the cutoff marks is usually decided by the heads of the schools? Which of them? Which of the 3 you mentioned? Okay, possibly I rephrased my question. I think you might have gotten that wrong. He mentioned earlier that the head of school, the various schools come together to decide on a cutoff mark, which will be used by all universities. So which cutoff mark is that? Which cutoff mark is that? One that will be used by all universities. Okay, beautiful. General cutoff mark. That's wonderful. General cutoff mark. General. Okay, that shows that we've been following. Okay, I think he's back here with us, so I want to give him the floor again to resume. So, Mr. Rahim, are you with us now?
All right, so if you can hear me, I was trying to lay emphasis on the program cutoff mark. Hope I'm back now.
Yes, sir, you are back. Can you also turn on your camera so we can see your face?
Okay, so I was laying emphasis on the program cutoff mark, which I said is the most important cutoff mark for admission seeker. But many of us has been having hope on general cutoff mark or institutional cutoff mark. So I was trying to use a 4-year as a case study, where I said that for last year, the cutoff mark for 4-year was around 160, but they accepted 200 for nursing, for a course like nursing, for a nurse like radiography. I know of 2 students that fought me for this. 2 students, my personal, mentees. I'm back fully, right?
Right, back.
Hello, please, I can't hear you.
You can go on, sir. It's back fully.
Okay. All right, so I was trying to use FOIE, Federal University of Oyekiti, as a case study to explain the last and the most important cutoff mark that students should be very, careful of. The funniest thing about this cutoff mark is that it's not going to be released until the last minute. This cutoff mark is not going to be released until the last minute. In fact, there are few institutions that normally release their cutoff marks after admission is over, when they are through with the admission, they will now release the cutoff mark. A very good example is our own LASSO. LASSO don't release their basis before admission. It is after admission is over that they do release their basis of admission. And that was why in my submissions, I normally categorize LASSO as one of the most non-transparent institutions. I'll give you the reason why they are not transparent. It's because of whom I am. But on a good day, LASSO has won all cases. LASSO has won all cases that are against the admission process. So legally today, nobody can say LASSO is not transparent. But technically, they are not transparent because they will not release the basis until after the admission. So, and that is why people who have or who knows who are striving with institutions like LASSO, because the students will not know. It is only people who are close to the school that will know and work on this sense. Moving forward, the schools that are transparent, Federal University of Oye-Ekiti, the cutoff mark for nursing, institutional cutoff mark is 200, meaning that if you score 200, you are qualified to pay full year for pursue TME, but you have a 0 chance. You are not going to gain admission. For last year, this year cutoff mark might reduce because cutoff mark is something that changes. Cutoff mark changes on yearly basis. It's possible to retain a cutoff mark if the data looks alike, but when the statistics changes, institution changes their cutoff mark to suit the present statistics. So cutoff mark depends on what students are scoring for that year. No wonder Jamb has set general cutoff mark for 140 before, 150 before, 160 before. In fact, there was a year they set for 180. So which means that it is the performance that will determine what cutoff mark will look like. So one of the mistakes that we're going to discuss later is the fact that students predetermine cutoff mark. In fact, some of those aunties, some of those sisters, some of those daddy, some of those educated elites, you see, people who mislead people pass in admission process. The highest level of misleading in admission process come from the elites, people who are educated. People who are educated will say, I went to Unilag, the pursuit, the cutoff mark is always this. Whereas that was the one you had then. It's not constant. It changes. It changes. So for last year, the general cutoff mark for 4 year was 160. Then they are accepting 200 for nursing. But somebody who scored precisely 200 will not gain admission because the program cutoff mark was 78. So if you score 200 with 4 year adopting 60-40, that means that your 200 can only earn you 30 over 60. So you need extra 48 to make top for the cutoff mark of nursing. And the highest you can get from your O level is 40, and your O level is not all round A, which simply indicates that, which simply justify that you have met up with general cutoff mark, institutional cutoff mark, but O level results, which will determine the other factor is not in your favor. So this is cutoff mark. 3 types of cutoff mark: general cutoff mark, institutional cutoff mark, and program cutoff mark, which is the most important of all the cutoff mark. Moving on to the misconceptions, because of our time. Many students had so many things wrong about the admission process. There are many things we are not aware of and that are very important as far as the admission process is concerned. One of them is the issue of the cutoff mark I have mentioned. Why many students are taking the general cutoff mark and institutional cutoff mark to be the most important. The most important cutoff mark is actually the program cutoff mark. And the program cut-off mark is highly dynamic. Highly dynamic is not the same. It's not always constant. It changes on yearly basis. Hence, students need to be aware of this. Other misconceptions are other misconceptions are what I call new specialized program. New specialized program. The new specialized program refers to courses that are derivatives, that are derived from other major courses. For example, long time ago, because specialization comes not this year, not last year, not 2 years ago, but because we are kind of local, we are kind of traditional in this country, we still want to stick to the old one. In medicine, for example, before these days, it is medicine and surgery. But today, many other courses have been so prominent. Optistry, the medicine of the eye. You are a doctor. If you study optistry, you are a doctor, only that you specialize in eyes. Before now, you study medicine and surgery, and at some level, you now specialize. But today, it is now a course on its own. Audiology. Previously, you study medicine and surgery. At certain level, they will now take you to audiology. So most of the doctors we have as audiologists today, they started their program with medicine and surgery. The department will take them to various specializations later in the course of life. But today, many parents still believe that you still need to start from medicine and surgery, whereas most of those that they are looking up to are audiologists, they are optistry, they are dentists. Because today we now dentistry, audiologists, and all sorts of special medicine, dermatology, the medicine of the skin. These are beautiful courses. But when you tell Nigerian students today, including some of us that are here, they will say, no, I want medicine and surgery. The cut-off mark for these courses are still very, very low. But many students don't want to choose them because they are guided by elites. Many of them, it's not that they are guided by illiterates, they are guided by elites, people who are educated but are not aware of the present trend in the education sector. It is only when they now say, oh, I don't know. I have seen a lot of parents like this. It is not only in medicine, even in law. Even in law, law has been broken. Before now, there is nothing like peace study. Peace study. Peace study used to be component of law. What we call peace study today, it used to be component of law. In fact, history and international study used to be component of law, of certain element of law. It's from there, though they were history. When they now have history and international study, it is derivative of history and law. That was their origin. It is from economics that we now have courses like entrepreneurship. It is from economics that we have many other courses. But today, students want to study economics instead of studying some of those derivatives, whereas that is what they wanted. Entrepreneurship is also a subordinate of economics and what we call business administration today, or in the past. Business administration in the past. So there are many new courses that are actually students' dream. That is what they actually dream to be. If you ask people that want to study business admin now, because they want to control businesses, because they have businesses, That if you want to have a personal business to control, you don't need business administration senses, you need entrepreneurship skills. But if your father already built a business, you are still needing entrepreneurship. But if you are planning to work with MTN, to manage MTN for those that have it, if you are planning to manage Dangote for people that have it, then what you need is business administration, so that I can help people to administer their business. But those people there, the guys here now, they also have children. So those of you that you are trying to rise up from grass to grace, many of us don't really need business administration. What we need is entrepreneurship skill. But in Jamb, how many of us have chosen entrepreneurship skills? These are areas of misconceptions. There's also what we call catchment area because of time. It is possible that I come from Ondo State, and a school outside Ondo State has my state as catchment area. So if I score 55, they will pick me at the expense of somebody who has 60 something. Schools like Unilag, for example, because of our time, Unilag has states as their catchment areas. State like Kwara State, state like Lagos State, state like Ekiti State, state like Ondo State. So if I come from Ondo State, my cut-off mark for a particular program can be lesser. I'm going to share Unilag cut-off mark for us. So you can be having a soft landing because you come from Ondo at the expense of somebody who comes from Lagos for a particular course in Unilag. Educational less developed states. There are states that are tagged educational less developed states. So these states has advantages in almost all the institutions in Nigeria. Almost all in the institutions in Nigeria, they have advantages. So if I come from educational less developed states, I can get 50% and earn admission, where somebody will come from another state which is not part of educational less developed state, scoring 60% and lost admission. It's not a euro, it is admission policy. Another factor in admission is the admission spread. There's what we call spread of admission. Spread here means that in a particular school that wants to take, let's say, 15,000, like LASU want to take 15,000. Yes, they will consider their indigene. LASU till today is trying to reserve 70% for indigenes, both fake and original. So the remaining 30%, you can do the mathematics. So if LASU has taken, let's say, 300 students from Ondo already, or there are many students from Ondo, up to 1,000 of them, that have scored high marks, some of them might be denied admission at the expenses of states. Let me say Kwara State. Let's say Kwara State, they are just scoring low. And LASU want to have their spread to Kwara State too. So that it will not be that LASU is not picking students from Kwara State. So students that scored higher mark from Ondo State might be denied admission at the expenses of somebody from Kwara State that has a low mark. This is based on admission spread. They want to spread the admission to all states. Gender participation. Gender. In an institution that is trying to consider 75% for electrical and electronic engineering as cut-off mark for merit, if they are to pick 100 for electrical and only, let's say, only 60 of them, only 60 people got 75%, it happens that a school will set cut-off mark for a course, let's say electrical engineering, as I'm trying to say, is 75%, and only 60 students call up to 75%. That means that that school has chances of getting others to gain admission because their admission quota is 100 for that course. How do they pick the remaining 40? Listen to me. If there are girls that are scoring 55, 56, 57, and that's the highest mark in girls and there are 20 of them, that school will pick them. That will pick them and pick the other 20 from among boys that score 73, 72. So a boy can score 70% and lose admission for electrical. Why? Because there are 80 students that has meet up with higher marks. They will now pick 56, 57, 55 that are the best 20 female students because they want that program to have at least 20 females out of 100. So why those ones doesn't get admission is because they are males. Those 20 got admission with 56, 57, 55 because they are females. So they want females to be represented in that program. So gender. It's not that schools are favoring girls. So there are some courses that has more of girls too. There are some courses that have more of girls too, applying and having higher score. So if the boys are scoring low in that course or for that course, the boys will be considered. Why? Because they want some boys to be among people that are studying that particular program. No wonder when boys score higher, it's possible you see a boy that scores 68%. Just like I told you that cutoff mark for Foye is 78. A boy that scores 68 can gain admission if boys are not putting up for that institution for that course, nothing. So if there are just few boys that pick the school, or among those 78 boys are not qualifying, so the ones that qualify, the 2, 3, 4 that qualify might be picked so that there will be boys in that program. So being a male has helped them to gain admission for nursing at the expense of the girls who are many that apply for that courses. This is how admission works. Many variables in the process. So the mistakes we are doing is now based on ignorance, based on the fact that we do not recognize professionalism, based on the fact that we do not recognize the ability to be current. People who are current informations. It's not about what happens in the past. See, if a male got admission, I'm going to share some resources for us here, especially for the few of us that followed. I can share it for you. Tell me your school. I'm going to share because there are very few of us here. In your DM or here, tell me your institution. I'm going to share resources with us to understand the fact that admission goes beyond score sometimes. No wonder. About 2 years ago, Professor Isaac Oloyede, the registrar of Jamb, he said something. I keep using that as a reference. He said it's possible to get 400 over 400 in Jamb and still lose admission. Because admission is not based on Jamb score alone. Outside Jamb score, there are many other factors on which admission is based, and among which I have mentioned educational less developed states. I have mentioned catchment area. I have mentioned gender. That looks funny to me until of recent. Yes, very, very of recent. I have candidates who are my mentees. So I was expecting that the duo will gain admission. Unfortunately, the one that scored lesser gain admission, and the one that scored higher were yet to gain admission. So I put a call through to my contact person in that institution. There's something strange has happened though. This is what has happened. Look at the grade. Said, oh, it is gender consideration. That the one you were talking about got it because we want more of that gender to gain admission for that program. And so that person got it because the person is qualified based on gender. The other person did not get it because there were more of that gender that are already qualified, that has more score above that person for the same program. Let me tell you, there are some schools takes religion as a basis. Not because they want to be sentiment against one religion, but because they want that religion to also be present in their institutions. Let me give you a background this thing that many parents are aware of. Many parents will tell you, if you are a Satana, when you go to North, their cut-off mark is low. It's not, I'm not getting it in the North because the cut-off mark is actually low, but because the number of Satanas are low. In the same way, the same reason why Northerners are getting admission cheaply in the South, because there are less Southerners that want to gain admission, except for those states that are educational conscious. If you check today, many Igbos, especially from Priest and Anambra, states like Imo, they are getting difficult in Lagos, for example, as a basis, because many of them put in for the admission and they want to school in Lagos. Abakaliki, Ebonyi in Lagos get admission easier than Imo and Anambra. Why? Because there are few of them that want to go to schools. So these are the areas. Admission is based on many factors. Many factors. These factors must be adequately considered for a particular institution, for a particular program, before guaranteeing a candidate of admission. That is how it works. Spread. So the basis of admission is cut-off mark and spread. If you are to, I want to summarize everything I've discussed so far this night. I have based admissions on cut-off mark and on spread. Spread based on educational less developed states, spread based on catchment areas, spread based on gender, spread based on religion. These are how admission works. Because of our time, I actually want to, end this particular class at most by 8 o'clock. So at this junction, I'm going to give room for you guys to ask questions. Then your questions is going to guide us for the remaining 15 minutes. So over to you, sir, Mr. Akoju.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. So, just like you said, I want us to use the chat box right now. So whatever question you have, whatever you are not clear on, kindly say that while just to. So let's send what I know. Some of us will have challenging us. So let's put the question in the group chat. Guiding us to. Don't be shy about sending your question. Your question can actually help someone. So we'll be waiting for your responses. So we already have one. I don't know your name because you have emojis as your name. The question says, "Mine University of." Are you with us?
I'm with you,
Okay, so
sir.
let me read out. Says, "Mine is University of Nigeria. I scored 197 and I want to study computer science. So what piece of advice do you have for such students or for such aspirants?"
197. What course, sir? 197 and what course?
7 computer science in UNN.
Computer science.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me quickly answer this. Like I said, I am going to be giving a rare privilege to all the participants. I mean, the active participants of this particular program. I'm going to share resources that has to do with the institutions to them. The one I have, the one that are released. Some institutions don't release details, but if the institution release data in the past. I'm going to share with them. I have screenshot all the active participants of this particular class. I will share with them. Now, for 197 computer science, you see, I didn't cram UNN, but many institutions normally have computer science to be around 60 something. UNN do conduct exams, and I also need to let you know that Jamb, that's Jamb as a board, Jamb has mandate that all institutions should work towards making their exams 60% of whatsoever they want to do. You see, this post-UTME we are doing to Jamb, it is because they don't have outright say. They are trying to carry institution along as stakeholders. But by the law that established Jamb, Jamb can decide to stop institutions from conducting the post-UTME. They couldn't stop them because of funding of education in Nigeria. Please note this one down against my name. The reason why there is still post-UTME is because there is inadequate funding of institutions in Nigeria. So universities, college of education, polytechnics, they are doing screening, collecting money, screening level results, conduct exam, because they want to make money for their institutions because of the funding issue in Nigeria tertiary institutions. With time, let me tell you, jot this one down. Screening post-UTME will be abolished because there's no basis for it. So now moving forward, most federal universities like UNN are trying to make Jamb 60% of the criteria. 197 is less than 25%. So let's say that the cutoff mark for computer science is 65. That means that this candidate needs 40%, and the total obtainable points from O level, from post-UTME, or whichever criteria UNN want to adopt for this year will be 40%. With the candidate having less than 25%, because 197 is less than 200, I'm not pressing calculator now, I'm using simple logic. With the student having less than 25% in Jamb, sorry, less than 30, and you have a total of 40 to obtain. So the chances now would be, if the candidate scored up to 35, that's if the cutoff mark is 65, you need to score 65. If your level is strong to give you 35 plus, let's say like 36, yes, 36%, and you have 24 point something in Jamb out of 60, then that will be up to 65 point something. If the cutoff mark is around 65, that candidate is qualified. If it's around 65 and you have 64, after picking the merits, you might be among those that will be considered later because your mark is high. But if the cutoff mark, if your O-level result is C's, for example, if you have C's, 5 C's, out of 40, what you are getting is 20%.
I think it's been cut off again by the network. But while it's going to restore back, we only have 2 people who have sent their question to the group. Only two people. Okay, it's back online now. It's back online. While the contest, the rest of us, you said it's giving out a rare privilege to those of us that are available online to tutor us. So all you have to do is send in your question to the chat, and to respond to them on the call. So let's do that. We only have 2 people who has done that. So let's do that while he comes up as well. So Mr. Ryan.
All right, please, sorry, it is network. I'm back. So the summary is that if the O-level result can cover up for the remaining points, or the candidate can score high score in a pursuit TME, it is possible, but it depends on factors. And the factors there, one of them is the O-level results or pursuit TME, as the case may be. That if UNN choose to conduct pursuit TME, the candidate needs to score over 35%. Over 30% means over 90% of the total. So if it is over 100, you need to score 90. So if the candidate cannot score up to 90, if they are conducting pursuit TME, then the candidate should not think of computer science in that school. But other courses could be possible.
Thank you very much, sir, for the answer. I think that answers the question. So please, can you also restore your video camera back on, so that since we are going to be posting this video on YouTube for others who missed it to join. So the next question says, that's this Precious speaking on. He said she scored 293 and she wants to study nursing in University of Uyo. 293.
290, University of Uyo. If the O-level is strong, that person is a go. If the O-level is not C6 parallel or C5, C4, the person is a go.
Okay.
For that criteria.
Okay, thank you, sir. So I believe that answers the question. And next we have Nonawa Rachel. She said she scored 201, nursing as well, LASU. 201 nursing, LASU.
201 in LASU, that means that the Jamb is 30 point something, not up to 1, not up to 5. 30.02, 30.02 for UTME. Cutoff mark for indigenous in LASU is around 72 for last year. 72. So what is obtainable in O-level results? Jamb use combination of Jamb and O-level results. The total mark obtainable is 40%. So if we add 40, assuming that candidate has 40% in O-level results, to have 40% means you have A1 in maths, English, physics, chemistry, and biology. If that happens, the candidate has chance if there is connection, because it's out of merit. But with adequate connections, maybe in indigenship slots, in KBC, because in Lagos, yes, we have indigenship slots that are normally given to KBC, spread across all the urbans in Lagos. So all the urbans in Lagos have slots to bring their people to their state university. So with that, there is a chance. Outside this, the chance is very slim. Slim if there is 40% in O-level result, no. But if the O-level result has like 2 or 3 C, if the O-level result has 2 or 3 C, then it is not going area at all. No chance at all.
Okay, sir. I think we are now getting more people join the call and more people sending in their requests. So we need to be very, very fast with this. Next one is from David Anna. Scored 224 Mathcom in LASU as well. 224 wants to study Mathcom LASU. Hello, sir.
Which institution?
I think let me take that with the other person who has the same course. We have 24 Mathcom LASU. Also have Akenya Fit 219 Mathcom Unilag. Did you get that, sir?
I've gotten LASU. Mathcom which other school? 219 institution.
Unilag. So after that, we'll take
Unilag. Sorry, I couldn't get the last one. I've gotten 224 Mascom Lasso, 219 Mascom Unilag.
Unilag, sir.
Only two of them, right?
We have one more, but that's Lead City. I didn't want.
All right, because of our time, I don't know if my network is still making us get me.
Okay, let me take the last one. That's 178.
Sir?
Sorry, I think the network went off with you. The last one, that's the last person. 178. Lead City University wants to study English and literary studies.
Any university? The person asking if there's any university, Abi?
Lead City, 178.
Lead City.
Yes, sir. Lead City University.
Go. 100%.
Okay.
178, 100%. 178, 100%.
Okay, sir. So how about last one? Those that want to study Mascom, last one, Unilag.
Mascom Unilag. I will share, like I said, I'm going to share cut-off mark for last year in Unilag, but judging from the past, the cut-off mark for Mascom is around 70 something. Around 70 something. And Unilag normally adopts, are we together? Unilag adopts 50-50. So this candidate has scored, the candidate should divide the UTME score for Unilag 219. If the candidate is following, divide 219 by 8. That will be around 27. I want to say 27. 27 point something, 27. Are we together? 27 for Unilag. So 27, if you are going to 70, even going to 70, you will discover that you still have 30 something to cover. 33. Now, 33 over 40. That over 40 means that you are scoring something around close to 90% in pursuit, which is normally very hard. So the chances of this candidate is very slim, extremely slim. Same thing happens to Lasso. Lasso cut-off mark. Another factor, these people are not stating their indigenship. So you see, some of these questions that these candidates are asking, moderator, sir.
Yeah, I'm with you, sir.
Most of the questions that the candidates are asking, they are not questions I can answer absolutely now. The questions cannot be asked. We can only answer, like when I say 100% for Lead City now, there are some few factors. One of the factor is O-level requirements. I am not sure if the candidate already had gotten the precise O-level requirements. UTME subject combination. I am not sure if the candidate got the required Jamb or UTME combinations. If all these are right, then the candidate has 100% chances for the Lead City. The same thing happens for Unilag and Lasso. My analysis now are based on score. As I score, there is state of origin. If you come from Kwara, you can come from Kwara and get 80% and you will not get admission. But you can come from Ondo and get 72 and get admission. Why? Because people from Kwara are scoring higher. And there is number of people from Kwara that the school, that the program can accommodate. So if people from Ondo are scoring lesser, they will get the person that score high, which is lower than the other states, will have a chance. I hope I'm communicating.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So these are the reasons why normally students, I have many students in my DM asking similar questions. I told them to enroll into our mentorship program, because in our mentorship program, we try to visit these institutions to get data. So before we can answer these questions absolutely, we need to get data of number of students from each state and what have you to calculate the chance of our candidate better. So it is when we calculate that we now say, okay, stay, okay, change. So some of these answers are not absolute, even with the required score. But for 224 LASU and 219 Unilag, even with the score, it is slim chance. But without slim chance, that slim chance can be in their favor or against them, based or depending on other factors.
Thank you very much, sir. I think we have two more, but I think one of them already cancelled because I have one for 191 LASU. Since you said LASU used 195 last year, I don't expect they'll go any lesser. So I think that should be cancelled if I'm not mistaken.
LASU this year, LASU is using 195. So that is confirmed. It's official. 195 this year.
So 191 cannot qualify for LASU anymore. So the other one, I think, is similar to what you just answered. I said that means 191 cannot qualify for LASU, if I'm not mistaken.
One what?
191, 191.
191.
Yes, sir, for LASU.
191 LASU is out.
Okay, so the last one before we round up, I think it's similar to the one you just answered for Unilag as well. 216 Mascom too as well. 216 Mascom for Unilag. So I think it's similar to the one you answered earlier.
216 is the same thing with that Mascom. 216. I'm going to share the last cut-off mark in this particular platform for Unilag for about 2-3 years. For the past few years, Unilag, Mascom, or some, what could you call now?
Mascom, sir.
Mascom. So for Mascom, it's always 70 something, above 70. Above 70. So the chance is very slim because Unilag is using 50-50. So with 216 is 27. And you are going to like 77. So you cannot get 100% in the distance. So it's going to be hard.
Okay, sir. I sent something to your WhatsApp. I think you should check. I need your feedback before I can go on, sir. Kindly help me check your WhatsApp. So I don't see any other question. I want to assume all questions have been asked. So we are gradually coming to the end of the webinar. I want to first and foremost appreciate God Almighty for the privilege for all to be here, and also appreciate the convener of this webinar for bringing it together. Although we have a very, very low turnout compared to what we were expecting. We have over 300 people in this group chat, yet less than 15 or even 10 of them could make the call at a point in time. But I still want to believe that regardless of the number, those that were here are here because they want to learn, are here because they want to better their lives and better their chances, and they've learned one or two things. And also, I want to appreciate you so much, Mr. Rahim, for creating time to be here. I know how much you sacrificed in order for you to be here today. Thank you so much. Please let's appreciate him in the chat. Let's show appreciation to Mr. Rahim for taking time out to be here with us tonight and to share his wealth of experience. Now, okay, I've been given the go ahead. Okay, so you realize you mentioned something while the session was going on. You said some of these things that is mentioning cannot conclusively guarantee that they are good the way they are, except you enroll for his mentorship class. So let me make the announcement by telling you that. Okay, before then, let me just say this. Now, for you to be able to have absolute guidance towards getting admission, you need a mentor. I mentioned that at the start of the webinar, that you need someone to mentor you, someone to guide you. Some of us, we are only falling back or listening to our parents, listening to older people who do not know what obtainable again. in the admission world. Things are changing. The same way admission was run 10 years ago is not the same way it's being run now. So you need someone who would constantly guide you, who will constantly put you through to ensure that you don't make mistakes. That person should be someone who is in touch with all that's happening, can reach out to institutions, can reach out to various people to be able to put you through also, and also help you. And one important thing, you realize that for some of you that were that listed out your courses, and it was telling you that you have slim chances, your chances, but yet it cannot guarantee it because it doesn't know whether or not your Jamb combination qualifies you for those things. So you need someone to sit down with you on a one-on-one level and put you through this thing. Some of you will need to change your course, some of you need to change your institution, maybe to a state that will accommodate you, to a state less competitive. So basically what I'm trying to say is that you need a mentor. You need a mentor. You can't just take anybody as a mentor, but someone who is qualified. So permit me to inform you, to notify you that our guest speaker has a mentorship class is running. It's a paid class, it's not free. But over the years, I've seen students who have been part of this class gain admission into a university, not just school, into a university. I'm saying that again, into a university. So it is not just about you hearing this, you being here today. You need someone to guide you. So I've seen people who, as a result of not wanting to pay the price of being in the class, they lost admission. Some of them were at the tail end of getting admission. Possibly all they needed to do was just to accept admission offers with them, and because they did not have someone to guide them, they missed it. So I want to, Mr. Rahim, I would appreciate if you can possibly share your admission flyer. I was looking for it earlier, but I couldn't find it easily. Your mentorship flyer, rather, so that everyone here can see. Possibly share with others who are not here as well. So you can enroll for the mentorship, and you will have direct access to our guest speaker, where he will guide you, he will tutor you, he will put you through all that you need to know, and he will give up-to-date information on everything that you need about admission. So while we are rounding up, I believe our guest speaker will share with us the flyer and also any other thing he wants to share with us. So with that, I believe we don't have any other question. So I would want to once again appreciate you all for taking time to be here. I believe you've all learned a lot, and I pray that all of you here desiring to be in school, that by the end of this year you all secure admission into the university. So I want to humbly submit, as the convener wraps up the ASC 2026 as she kickstarts it. So Esther, I hand over to you as the round up. So she wants me to round up. Okay, so I want to officially. I don't know. Does anyone, if you have anything to say? Okay, he has sent it to the group. So you have the mentorship class there. It goes for 20,000 naira, and it's going to be, access. You are having access to him. He is always around 24/7 to attend to any question. And when I say 24/7, I mean 24/7. Even at night when others are sleeping, he will still be awake attending to you. Please note this: it pays to pay the price now than lose admission. This money he is charging is a peanut compared to what you will get. Many of you, what you spend on subscription, on food allowances in a week or in a month is not up to this. So you can just pay the price and have it. So thank you so much, sir. Once again, thank you all for being here. And with that, we have come to the end of ASC 2026. Like I said, I hope that everyone here, by this time next year, you will all be in school. And it's going to be a wonderful experience. Thank you so much. God bless you. Have a wonderful night rest.